Imagine stepping onto a beach knowing that every single person around you already has an opinion about your body before you even take off your cover-up. That's the reality Sharon Stone has lived with for over 3 decades. What most people don't realize is that a simple photo of her in a swimsuit isn't really about fabric or fit at all. It's about something much bigger, something that touches every one of us when we look in the mirror. At first glance, the headlines seem to focus on one thing only: a bikini choice that got people talking. But here's where the story gets interesting. The real story was never about the swimsuit. It was about a woman in her 60s refusing to disappear from public life the way society often expects women to once they pass a certain age. To understand why this moment mattered, you have to understand who Sharon Stone really is. Long before she became a global icon, she was a small-town girl from Pennsylvania who fought her way into an industry that chews people up and spits them out. She wasn't handed success. She earned it through rejection after rejection, audition after audition, until one unforgettable role changed everything and made her a household name almost overnight. But fame, as many stars will tell you, comes with a price most fans never see. The surprising part is that behind the glamorous image, Sharon faced a life-threatening health crisis in the early 2000s that nearly took her life. She survived a brain hemorrhage that doctors said could have killed her. She had to relearn how to walk, how to speak, how to simply exist in her own body again. Imagine surviving something like that and then decades later still being scrutinized over a beach photo. That's the part of the story that rarely makes headlines. When people saw those recent beach pictures, the internet exploded with reactions. Some praised her confidence, calling it inspiring and empowering. Others criticized her choices, questioning why she would wear something so bold at her age. And that reaction right there reveals something deeper about our culture. Why do we feel entitled to judge how a woman chooses to dress, especially after she has survived so much? What most people don't realize is that Sharon has spoken openly about this exact struggle. She has said in interviews that aging in Hollywood often feels like being erased in slow motion. Roles become fewer. Attention shifts to younger faces. Yet instead of hiding, she chose visibility. She chose to show up exactly as she is, without apology. That decision is what makes this beach moment so powerful. It wasn't about seeking attention for attention's sake. It was a quiet statement, a refusal to let age dictate her worth or her right to feel confident in her own skin. For millions of viewers, especially women watching from home, that message hits close to home. Many of them have felt that same pressure, that same fear of being judged for simply existing as they are. The psychology behind this reaction is worth pausing on. Celebrities become mirrors for our own insecurities. When we see someone confident and unapologetic, it forces us to ask ourselves uncomfortable questions. Are we too hard on ourselves? Are we allowing outdated standards to control how we feel about our own bodies? Sharon Stone, whether she intended to or not, became the center of that reflection for millions of people scrolling through their phones. Social media reactions poured in from every direction. Some fans wrote long, heartfelt comments about how her confidence gave them courage to wear something they had been too afraid to try. Others turned it into a debate about beauty standards, aging, and who gets to decide what is appropriate. But regardless of which side people took, one thing became clear. Sharon Stone had once again captured global attention, not through a movie release or an award show, but through simply being herself in public. This is the pattern that has defined her career since the very beginning. She has never been someone who fades quietly into the background. From her breakout role that shocked audiences worldwide, to her health battle that nearly ended everything, to her ongoing presence in fashion and public life today, Sharon has consistently proven that reinvention is possible at any stage of life. The deeper lesson here goes far beyond swimsuits or beach days. It's about the courage it takes to keep showing up as yourself when the world constantly tells you that you should shrink, hide, or apologize for existing. It's about redefining confidence not as arrogance, but as quiet resilience earned through real struggle. So the next time you see a headline mocking or praising a celebrity's appearance, ask yourself what story is really being told underneath it. Because in Sharon Stone's case, the real story was never about a bikini at all. It was about survival, self-acceptance, and the powerful choice to live boldly, regardless of what anyone else thinks.